One of the original lolcows in gaming at the beginning of the year was Rocksteady Studios with their release of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Some people were looking forward to it because, hey, look at that, you're going to have the opportunity to, see Kevin Conroy's final voice performance as Batman. They're going to be able to send him off in style with a shot to the head by one of the most insufferable characters in DC history. People weren't really looking forward to this game, but they thought, hey, maybe it could be a fun looter shooter. This is Rocksteady after all. They made the Arkham games, and then people took a look at Rocksteady in 2024 and went, oh god, we're in for some pain. And especially when they prioritize this instead of proper gaming and proper gameplay. That's what your studio looks like. Oh, good. I'm so glad you have all of this time to set up all of these banners, all of these flags. And best part about your Pride 2025 celebrations, you're going to have far more space to put up far more flags because Rocksteady reportedly hit with layoffs following Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League failure. Come on, guys, that's not fair. I mean, take a look over the long weekend. Literally dozens of people checked out the game. Like, oh my god, okay. Heading into the long weekend, right? You had 122 people. Was that? Oh no, 123 people checked it out on Saturday, and then, oh my god, they just 126 people. You know what? Maybe this game isn't dead overall. 144 people? That should be enough to mitigate that $200 million burden. Holy crap. Rocksteady has reportedly been hit with a wave of layoffs. Aw, shucks, I wish I care. Because here's the thing, man. You work for a company that is supposed to be making games. How's it supposed to sell games? What's that mean? There's a wall of text. Does this... I'm sorry. There's two guys kissing. Is this supposed to help us sell burgers? Burgers? Is this supposed to help us sell video games? Gaming? As part of our Pride 2024 celebrations, we hosted a networking event of our friends that out making games, and we just had to make sure our studio decorations fit the theme. This is what you're prioritizing instead of rehabilitating your failing game. You get what you deserve when your company, okay? I don't care where you work. I know that there's a lot of hardworking people that's out there, but if wherever you work, they put out statements like this to bend the knee during June or just unpromptedly throughout the year where they want to make things political, know that you're on a ticking clock. Everything woke goes to Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. There's a finite amount of time that this works. You will get quite a few retweets and likes on social media, but at the end of the day, that doesn't fulfill paychecks. That doesn't result in sales. You'll get a lot of clapping. You'll get a lot of online adulation for a bunch of weirdos who will sell you out in the moment that you step out of line. Is that the fan base you want? Well, that's the one that Rocksteady wanted. And now you figure out that you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. Rocksteady has reportedly been hit with a wave of layoffs, predominantly affecting the QA department, which, yeah, this is another game which I didn't play. You couldn't pay me enough to play this game, but I watched a full playthrough of it, and yeah, if any department outside of the writing should be laid off, it should be the QA department, because the gameplay in this was absolutely awful. Every aspect of this game was trash. It, unironically, makes Star Wars Outlaws look like a masterpiece, makes it look like peak Ubisoft. If this is peak Rocksteady in 2024, you all deserve to get laid off. But yes, according to the staff, the poor performance of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League was cited as a reason behind the job cuts. Aw, shucks. This news was just broken by Eurogamer, who cites anonymous sources within Rocksteady. Here, it said that the QA department has been cut from 33 devs to just 15. I mean, it took 33 people to develop that tripe? Oof, okay. The remaining staff say they have been told the product quality will suffer as a result of these layoffs. I mean, potentially, but it wasn't exactly that high to begin with. In addition to this, the remaining devs say that they're expected to shoulder the work of departing coworkers, which should also tell you, because I think the only other game that they have in development right now, or it could have just recently been released, was the Arkham game that is coming out on, what is it, Facebook's Meta, the old Oculus Rift platform. So yeah, I'd imagine probably within the next couple of months, we're going to hear about Rocksteady shutting down, which I know for people who loved the Arkham games back in the cut, and I know that they were incredibly highly regarded. Hell, I think I own most of them. I haven't played any of them, but I know that they're incredibly highly regarded. I got to get around to them. I have nothing against them. It's just I was playing a lot of other stuff around that time. It's probably Guitar Hero or something like that, sinking thousands of hours into that. Rocksteady's company, Warner Brothers, oh yeah, parent company, right, has not commented on these reported layoffs at time of writing, because they're probably figuring out who else we can lay off to mitigate these losses. Yes, seasonal updates appear to have done a little to bring players back to Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League on Steam. The release of the season 2 led to a peak of just 572 players. And that was the Joker. He was cringe Joker, cringier than Jared Leto's Joker, but it was still arguably the most infamous villain in all of comics. You could only get 572 players on it. Good idea. Prior to this, the devs halted their weekly community updates with fans back in June, leading some to fear that the support would dwindle. Well, their fears were also assuaged when Mrs. Freeze came through and peaked the game at like 200 players. Despite the failure of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, Rocksteady is best known for the widely loved Batman Arkham games, which started back in the late 2000s. Like, when did Asylum come out? Was that 09? I think it was 09. The Arkham Asylum, 09, I didn't even read that. And then City, which was, I think, probably won everybody's game of the year in 11 or 12. Origins was seen as a bit of a step back, but now it's kind of a second look masterpiece. And then Night, once they ironed out all of the performance issues, is incredibly well regarded, and at certain points was actually succeeding the player counts of Kill the Justice League. That was funny. Still is. However, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League has failed to live up to previous games in the series. Because it's completely different, and you made a single player studio create a live service game. That's not their wheelhouse. You made them do something that they're not accustomed to doing. But you didn't have to do it this bad. Okay, there could have been some hiccups, there could have been some issues, but it was still garbage. Like, one of the best examples that I can think of is actually BioWare. No, I'm not going to talk about Anthem. But the way that, after making the Knights of the Old Republic series, had to work on the Old Republic, the Old Republic MMO. Everybody liked that game for the story, because that was quintessential BioWare before they went completely flumpy in the brains. And when it came to the MMO aspects of that, it was a little bit rough, but the story was still excellent. So here's the thing. People would have been a little bit more sympathetic towards this game if this was, still the gameplay, still the storytelling capabilities of peak Rockstar, with some rough around the edges, live service issues. But here's the thing, from the UI being so in your face, so obnoxious, you could have fixed that. Looter shooter mechanics being outdated, even by Borderlands 1 standards, you could have done something about that. The sameness of the gunplay, that is unforgivable. Whether you're playing as King Shark, Deadshot, Harley Quinn, Captain Boomerang with one of the most insufferable voice actors ever committed to the video game. Everyone played exactly the same. A studio once revered for its ability to properly characterize iconic characters. You made them so disposable like that. You get what you deserve. Losing half of your QA staff, you should see that as a blessing that only Warner Brothers decided to take these actions right now, because they lost $200 million on this crap. And this is one of the more glowing reviews where you get 50%. Oh, you tried. But no, this was the tone setter of the year. This was letting everybody know that, oh boy, this year in gaming, it's going to be rough, okay? A lot of live service games, a lot of lofty expectations, and, well, so far, very few things have lived up to those expectations. We've had a lot of fly-by-night successes. Helldivers 2, nobody thought that it would ever break those records, but then they've summarily, plummeted off a cliff. Palworld is actually still doing pretty good, bubbling below the surface. Not quite hitting those huge numbers at the beginning of the year, but still doing relatively well. And then, of course, the big success of this year being Black Myth Wukong, being as based as humanly possible, continuously cracking over 1 million players. Meanwhile, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League couldn't even get a tenth of that, couldn't even get outside of release week. On release week, they got 1%, hell, 0.5% of their all-time first 24-hour concurrent player count for a game that cost half as much by a studio that is, 1/4 as familiar with the landscape, and they've turned that into just about $1 billion franchise overnight. Meanwhile, you had everything, and you blew it over at Rockstar, and now you're reaping what you sow. Play stupid games, you win stupid prizes, you get woke, you go broke. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.